In eastern Oklahoma, Jake Miller's farm stretches across cornfields, open pastures, and dense patches of woodland that seem to go on endlessly. Over the past several months, signs of feral hog activity have appeared almost every night. Freshly rooted soil, damaged fences, and newly formed trails have become increasingly common. Today, we will inspect the entire network of traps placed around the farm. No one knows what awaits behind each trap door. It could be a modest result, or it could be a surprise significant enough to change the course of the entire day. The first trap was set along a recently harvested cornfield where scattered kernels still remained after the harvest. The night before, the trap alert had already been triggered. With a thin layer of morning mist still hanging over the ground, we set out feeling both excited and curious. Upon arrival, the signs around the area confirmed what we had expected. A group of hogs had indeed passed through during the night. The day began with a promising result, giving the entire team more confidence for the journey ahead. If the first trap provided a positive start, the next inspection point left everyone standing still for a few seconds in surprise. In the middle of an open clearing, the second trap had worked exactly as intended. What surprised us was not only the number of animals, but also the fact that individuals of various sizes had appeared together. The scene suggested that an entire group had moved through this area during the night. Jake could not hide his excitement. Days of studying tracks and monitoring activity had finally produced clear results. Leaving the clearing behind, we continued toward a trap position in a wide grassland. This location had failed to produce results many times before, but Jake chose to leave it in place because he believed the hog's travel route would eventually return. That belief was finally proven correct. After many rounds of waiting, the trap finally delivered a positive outcome, giving the team even more motivation to continue. The next inspection point was located in another pasture on the western side of the farm. The moment we arrived, everyone sensed something different. The atmosphere quickly became more active as multiple animals appeared within the trapping area. The team worked together efficiently, making the most of every minute since several more locations still needed to be checked. This was perhaps the busiest period of the entire day. The sun slowly began its descent toward the horizon. After hours of constant travel, signs of fatigue started to show on everyone's faces. But the journey was far from over. The next trap was positioned near the edge of the forest. Because we needed to complete the earlier locations first, we did not return to inspect it until late afternoon. The last rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, creating a remarkably peaceful scene. Fortunately, the trap had also produced results, making everyone feel that the effort invested throughout the day had been worthwhile. By the time we finished at the forest edge, darkness was beginning to settle across the farm. We switched on our lights and headed toward the next trap. After a series of positive results, everyone was hoping for another surprise. This time, however, the outcome was far more modest. Only a single animal was recorded within the trapping area. Even so, Jake simply smiled. He understood that in nature, not every location produces the same results.
Hey, bud. We're right here. Yeah.
The final stop lay deep within the woods. The trail grew darker with every mile, illuminated only by the headlights of the pickup truck. After such a long day, everyone assumed this would be the final inspection before heading home. But upon arrival, we were all surprised by what awaited us. The area, which had seemed quiet moments before, suddenly became much more active. The team moved quickly and worked together efficiently to finish the task before darkness completely engulfed the forest. It was a fitting and memorable ending to a day that had offered almost no time to rest. From freshly harvested cornfields and wide open grasslands to forests disappearing into the darkness, every trap told a different story. There were moments of anticipation, moments of unexpected surprise, and moments when only patience could deliver results. That is exactly what makes every trap-checking trip around Jake Miller's farm so unpredictable, and why we will continue returning here in future adventures.
Installing the monitoring equipment. Before setting any traps, we installed a camera monitoring system to accurately assess the size of the herd and their movement patterns. Infrared cameras were securely mounted, recording day and night and activating automatically whenever motion was detected. In addition, cellular trail cameras allowed us to receive images in real time. This made it possible to identify the right moment to intervene and, crucially, avoid catching only a single animal. One of the most common mistakes in wild boar control, often leading to ineffective results and making the remaining herd even more wary. Setting up the boar trap. Based on the data collected, we proceeded to install a drop trap, a vertically falling trap widely regarded as one of the most effective methods for capturing an entire herd at the same time. The trap frame is built from heavy-duty steel panels and firmly anchored to ensure safety and stability when it drops. A remote activation system allows the trap to be triggered at the exact right moment, only when the cameras confirm that the entire herd is inside. This approach minimizes panic and prevents animals from escaping, which is critical in effective wild boar control. The bait used is typically corn or fermented grain, highly attractive to wild boar. Wild boar are intelligent and powerful animals, so I came up with a deliberate strategy, feeding them the same bait they love for several consecutive days. This creates a routine for the entire herd, lowers their guard, and builds familiarity with the trap site. Only after fully understanding their movement patterns, habits, and accurately identifying the timing of their appearance did we take action. Trap. After many nights of monitoring, the herd of wild boar kept returning to the same area, devouring the bait, tearing up the ground, then disappearing without a trace. Instead of rushing to set the trap, we chose patience. With wild boar, haste almost always leads to failure. We begin with pre-baiting, spreading bait and setting up monitoring cameras. The footage showed the herd arriving consistently, but there were always a few individuals hanging back, watching from the outside. That was a clear signal. It wasn't time to set the trap yet. Only when the entire herd moved in together, when their guard was fully down, were we ready for the next step. The Boar Buster trap was installed right at the familiar site, paired with a remote trigger to give us full control over the timing. When the camera feed confirmed that the whole herd was neatly inside, we didn't hesitate for a single second. The trap was activated. 2 successful control operations at the same location proved one thing clearly. When the process is done right, the results can be sustained over time. The neighborhood returned to peace, damage dropped significantly, and residents no longer had to live in fear night after night. This is not just a story about catching wild boar. It's about responsibility to the community, about safety, and about taking control of a situation rather than constantly chasing after the consequences. Transportation. After the operation concluded, wild boar were transported in specialized containment cages, ensuring safety and full compliance with state regulations. Every step of the process was carried out with care, minimizing risks to both people and the surrounding residential areas. All captured boar were removed from the trapping zone and handled in accordance with state and local government regulations. The immediate threat was eliminated. The area returned to a temporary state of calm, and the team's efforts resulted in outcomes that truly reflected the work put in.
Come on now. Come on now.
Wild boar control is not a matter of a single day or a one-time operation. It is a long-term process aimed at protecting communities, land, and public safety. The boar may return, but with the right approach, coordination, and disciplined decision-making, we can stay ahead of the situation rather than constantly reacting to its consequences. This is a shared responsibility, and it is how a community protects itself. The most common mistake in wild boar management is not a lack of tools, but poor timing and flawed execution. Set a trap along the wrong route, trigger it too early, or let even a single animal escape, and the entire herd will remember what happened. From that moment on, they grow more alert, alter their movement patterns, and become willing to push deeper into human spaces. When this happens, any reaction driven by impulse or emotion risks pushing the situation completely out of control. In this situation, the goal is not to chase the animals away, certainly not to cause panic. The top priority is to stop the herd from continuing to access the work area, prevent them from scattering in multiple directions, and avoid creating additional risks for people. The chosen solution is a large coral-style trap integrated with a remote monitoring camera system. This tool allows decisions to be made based on real data, not guesswork. The camera clearly identifies the size of the herd, their approach routes, and the exact moment when the boars are least alert. In wildlife control, accurate information is just as important as the trap itself. Automatic cameras are positioned along multiple approach routes around the trap, covering the entire movement zone of the boar herd. This setup is not about catching more animals. It is about minimizing risk to people. Every decision is based on real-time visual evidence, with no guesswork and no rushed reactions. Only when the entire herd is fully within the safe control zone is the system activated. When the cameras confirm that the entire herd is inside the trap, the system is activated remotely. The automatic drop mechanism seals all exits in an instant, containing the herd within a closed, fully controllable space. No individual panics and escapes. No movement spills over into areas where people live and work. The risk is stopped exactly at the point of intrusion. This is the fundamental difference between technology-based control and traditional manual methods. Instead of relying on a single trap, the system is deployed across multiple strategic points. Known travel routes, areas near food sources, and access points close to farm structures. This approach prevents the herd from scattering in multiple directions, reduces pressure on any single trap, and increases overall control of the entire area. It is a long-term control strategy, well suited to farm environments where people live and work on a daily basis.
They're looking.
A single small mistake in trap placement can turn a controlled situation into a serious threat to the entire farm. Once wild boars cross into restricted areas, what matters most is not reacting the fastest, but reacting with precision. Technology, timing, and disciplined decision-making allow risks to be contained responsibly, before people are forced to pay a heavy price. This is not just about controlling wild boars, it is about protecting safety, order, and the daily rhythm of an entire community, effectively and without unnecessary strain on human effort.